In this video, I'm going to show you some more footage from the 2003 British Grand Prix, where a safety car was deployed due to a man being on the track. Now, the purpose of me doing this is to make comparisons with crashgate. Most of you will know that crashgate happened in 2008. The Renault team got one of their drivers, Piquet Jr., to crash on purpose to cause a safety car, which the Renault team constructed their strategy around to give Fernando Alonso a better chance of winning that race. That was the first ever night race in Formula One, so it was a really significant race with a global audience watching it. The Renault sponsors were ING, an investment bank. ING also sponsored the Singapore Grand Prix that year. They were one of the minor sponsors. They weren't the main sponsor, but they were one of the sponsors. So having an ING sponsored car, winning an ING sponsored event, big global publicity. Follow the trail of money, look who benefits, and you will see who the criminal masterminds to these events actually are. So that happened in 2008. Not long after, approximately 6 months after, might have been a bit longer, Piquet Jr. lost his seat at the Renault team, and then out came the truth. Out came the fact that, well, you're sacking me now, but you got me to crash in that event. So that's what happens. You wonder why Perez has got a contract extension at Red Bull. I wonder. So what happened then? Flavio Briatore, the head of the Renault team, the team principal, and Pat Simmons, the technical director of the team, I believe he was, they admitted that they had devised this strategy for Piquet to crash, and Alonso apparently didn't know anything about it. So the team admitted to cheating. Briatore got a ban. Pat Simmons, he got banned. A known cheat in the sport of Formula One, he got banned. And he now works for the FIA. Which one of these is it? Oh, these are the statutes from that year, the best I can find. We'll go through them in another video. These are the, which ones are these? Are these the FIA International Sporting Code and the F1 Sporting Regulations from 2008. You know, I've been going through them with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm looking at these statutes which say that they should void a race if a team cheats. I haven't found it yet. Strange that. But yeah, Pat Simmons. Let's just take you through this before I go through the footage. Patrick Bruce Wraith Simmons, born the 11th of June 53, is a British motor racing engineer. He was a chief technical officer at Williams Grand Prix Engineering from 2013 until 2016, having previously worked at the Benetton, Renault and Virgin Formula One teams. He is currently the chief technical officer of Formula One. So Pat Simmons, right, the chief technical officer of Formula One, who is a known cheat. Okay, so this is on the FIA website here. This is an article, F1, the next steps, how the FIA and F1 will break the rules. And this was the 22nd of the 8th, 2019. This guy cheated. He got banned from the sport for cheating, and then he gets a job within the sport. It shows you that this is a rich boys club. Okay, there are no rules. They've got no integrity. They're law-breaking criminals. Oh, we'll just give you another job. You get paid £100,000, £200,000 a year for this role, even though you're a cheat. Yeah, but you're just one of us. You're just one of the same cheating bastards that we all are. But we're all making loads of money out of it, aren't we? We're all having a lovely time. Okay? But this will tell you. Chief Technical Officer, Formula One Chief Technical Officer Pat Simmons. Okay, that is this sport. A known cheat, now the chief technical officer of Formula One. And you know, if you well, you'll see, Pat. You'll see, Pat, where we go through this now. I've put out a little bit of footage on this one before, but I didn't really go into detail with it, and the reason being I thought it was going to get blocked. A lot of the times that I used footage from F1 TV, they will block it, but sometimes they don't, and I don't know whether they do or whether they don't. But you'll see here, there's the first one of these, the 2000 German Grand Prix, where there's a man on the track, where a safety car was deployed, and how it impacted the drivers' races. This one's the 2003 British Grand Prix, and there will be more to come. Lots of examples coming out with a similar situation where a safety car is deployed in a Formula One race where it wasn't an organic racing incident that caused the deployment of the safety car. Because that is effectively what Singapore was 2008. It was not an organic racing incident. It was a team manufacturing something to cause a safety incident which required the FIA to intervene by deploying the safety car. This was a person on track requiring the FIA to intervene by deploying the safety car. All that happens is each of those teams respond to that situation. The regulations are carried out in accordance with how the regulations are carried out, and it all plays out how it plays out. That's what happens. You don't void the race. Oh, a man has come out onto track. That has shaken everything up. That has affected all of the teams in different ways. Oh, therefore we must void this event. Oh, somebody has crashed on purpose. Therefore, that's caused a safety car. That's affected all of the teams in different ways. So we must void the event. No, that's not what happens. Okay, because all of the teams are subject to the same situation. The safety car is deployed. They've all got the opportunity to go into the pits to get a cheap pit stop to try and benefit from that. If your team then makes a mistake, unlucky, that's your error. Take responsibility for that. But in this world, people don't want to take responsibility. They're entitled to be compensated, aren't they? Even though the Ferrari team made the error in Singapore, they released Massa before they detached the refueling rig, and therefore Massa drove off, dragging the refueling rig down the pit lane with him. And then eventually, when the Ferrari mechanics decided, oh, what shall we do now? Oh, we better go and remove that. Few of you run down there and go and get that rig back. Okay, we'll get it. So off they jog down the pit lane, and then they can't pull it off the car very easily. And all this time, Massa is losing his head. Okay, Massa then can't get his head together to drive properly for the rest of that race. Because up until then, Massa had been driving very well, setting fastest laps, in the lead of the race, I think he was. After that, he drove atrociously. That's on you, Felipe. Your team messed up. They ruined your chances in that race. Because you didn't know whether that was authentic or not. You messed up. But now, in 2003, when people are trying to divert from the biggest fraud in sport, they want to bring up this issue. Oh, Massa now thinks he's entitled to be compensated for that. For a lost world championship and all the extra money that he might have earned. And a legal team, oh yeah, a team of mercenary lawyers, oh, they'll make that argument for you. As long as you're paying them, they'll create the argument for you. Because that's really the purpose of law, isn't it? Or no, they're just mercenary bastard lawyers that just, that's the integrity of these. I'm going to try not to swear too much, but that is the integrity of those people. We'll get to them eventually. But you'll see, those two videos were published, but they just mean they're not monetized. Sometimes, rather than it say ineligible here, it's just restricted in terms of I can't monetize them. Not a problem. I'm doing this for fun. If you go to this section, the right hand side of the screen, it's got the likes versus dislikes. So I've just put this one, lap 15, okay, which is some of the footage I'm going to go through now, a bit more. I've put that video out onto YouTube showing people that there's a man going down the track, and 4 people don't like seeing that video. Why is that? What is there not to like? What is there not to like? But these people, oh no, it's ruining my dream. It's ruining my version of wanting Massa to become the 2008 world champion, and Hamilton stripped of it. I'll click the thumbs down. Grow up, children. Grow up. I'm sorry that I'm ruining your dreams. I'm sorry that I'm destroying what you want to happen. You're so desperate for your boy Strap-on to be awarded the greatest of all time, and you're so desperate to have Hamilton discredited, aren't you? That's you as a person. Take a look at you. Well, you're not capable of doing this. This is why you are what you are. Okay? I will happily tell you, you are turds of human beings. That's who you are. Okay, you should have been parented better. You should have grown up to be a more rounded individual, which you're not. You are a turd of a human being. Okay, but carry on clicking the thumbs down. Okay, because I know that you subscribe to a channel that you don't like, just to leave comments to try to somehow validate your desires. And you think that's the conduct of a reasonable adult human being. Sadly, we have to share the world with vermin like you, but that's what you are, you turds. Anyway, we shall go on to the footage of the 2003 British Grand Prix, and well, let's see if it actually gets uploaded without being blocked. Let's have a look.
Okay, this is lap 12 then. Jarno Trulli is still leading. We're riding on board with Kimi Raikkonen, who's now been dropped down to 3rd place. We've had a safety car here at Silverstone, and we've got plenty of racing still to come. Oh no! Oh my goodness me! Just like Hockenheim a couple of years ago, we've got a lunatic on the track down the hang.
Okay, so second time that we can see this notion of somebody running down the track. Apparently he claims in court that it was just an opportunist moment for him because he saw a gate open and he ran onto track. But you'd prepared all these signs, mate. Cock.
A straight 160 miles an hour the cars are doing as they come through there. Safety car out, of course. The drivers, oh my word, thinking about a pass there. David Coulthard on Olivier Panis. Well, what can you say? That is absolutely unbelievable.
The drivers giving him as wide a berth as they can, just swerving out of the way. What on earth are you doing? And luckily then the marshals have got to him now. Safety car deployed, and outrageous. And luckily nobody damaged, nobody hurt. Safety car has picked up. Look at this message on the computer here. Man on track at turn 6. We had it in Hockenheim, didn't we, a few years back with a disgruntled.
So, safety car. What happens when a safety car is deployed? Well, we see it every time. Safety car! Which teams are going to come into the pits to try and take advantage of being able to get a cheaper pit stop? Happens all the time. This is a known thing in Formula 1. It's been known like this for years. This is 2003. This is 5 years before crashgate. Who's looking at history? Who's learning from history? Who by 2008 has realised, ooh, we might be able to use that safety car to our advantage to win us the first ever night race in Formula 1. I wonder who's looking at the past and learning their lessons.
Mercedes-Benz employee. We've got to work out what this man's unhappy about, but thank goodness he's in one piece, because if you hit him at 150, 170 miles an hour, Kimi Raikkonen using the chance to pit.
Well, they're all using the chance to pit. All the front runners.
Well, they're all using the chance to pit. So that's what happens, isn't it? if something occurs in a Formula One race, which is a safety concern, regardless of what it is, if it's a safety concern, the FIA, who are in charge of that race because they're the officials, they have the option of deploying the safety car to deal with that safety incident, which is what they did. They followed the regulations. Safety concern, we deploy the safety car. With that being deployed, the teams then react to that. Okay, we'll bring our drivers in, we will pit them, we will try and take advantage of that situation by getting a cheaper pit stop. If those teams then make an error, if they don't screw one of those wheels on properly, if that refueling rig is still attached to the vehicle and they release the car, whose fault is that? Is that the fault of the FIA? No, it's not. It's the fault of the team. I had to answer that because some of you will get the answer to that wrong, right? So the FIA has done what it needs to do there. The teams, if they make a mistake, if they don't screw one of those wheels on properly and they release the car and one of the wheels goes flying off, the team go, oh, you've got to avoid this race now. You've got to avoid this race now because somebody ran onto the track and that ruined our race. No, what ruined your race was you not screwing the wheel on properly. Oh, you've got to avoid the race now because we left the refueling rig on our car and that ruined Massa's race. Yeah, well, that's your fault, Ferrari. Unlucky. But we've got a legal team in London. They'll make the argument for you. Go and see them, Felipe. Go and see them.
Have come in. Helmet cam here down on Ralph Schumacher's pit stop. Where's Juan Montoya? He must be queuing up behind. Yes, he is. He now gets some service.
Oh, let's count the cars coming into the pits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One already in there. 8, 9, 10, 11. At least 11 cars pitting due to a safety car being deployed. It's normal. Oh, but we need to decide what caused the safety car, and depending on what caused the safety car depends whether or not we will avoid the race. No. If it turns out that a team caused that on purpose, what you do, you disqualify the team. There is nothing in those supposed statutes that say if a team cheats in a event, we will void that event. Doesn't happen, does it? You show me a sport where a team or a competitor cheats and the resolution to that incident is, oh, well, we'll void the entire competition. We'll void the entire event. So, yeah. No. All that happens is you disqualify those who have cheated and you ban them from the sport and you do it for life. You set a precedent. You make sure that these people don't come back from this. You know that there's a consequence for your actions. If you cheat, you're banned. Simple as that. You don't then give them a job in the sport as the chief technical officer.
From his pit crew, as we saw at Hockenheim when the man ran on the track, absolute chaos, and they're running out onto the circuit. You can see all now pouring back out again, and there's Mark Webber on board. This is going to shake up the order of the British Grand Prix, no problem about that. And they're all pouring back out again. That's bad news for the guys who made the pit stop under the first safety car. And you can see there, they all reacted quickly. It's all they could do. We were expecting them in any time between laps 16 and 22. And this is lap 13. They had no choice. They had to come into the pits under that safety car.
is, the safety car's coming out onto track. Now, what part of the edit do we see? Do we see this real time? Is this F1 TV constructing the narratives? Oh, we'll now show you the pictures of the safety car coming on track. See how things can be manipulated? See how they work it out over years, what they can show you and the times at which they can show you to convince you of the sequence of events. When are they really happening? So that seems a long time before that safety car's reached track, doesn't it? What happened? Was Bert Mylander on the toilet? Did he have to wipe his arse and then run to the car and, put his seatbelts in, start the car, check that the mirrors were in the right place? Maybe he had to, pop the bonnet, check the oil first, make sure it was all right. Then off he went onto track. Who knows? Who knows?
Welcome back.
So that guy there, so you've got Ross Brawn. And then John Todd. He was the president of the FIA at the time of the 2021 Abu Dhabi fix. And within a week, 10 days of that, oh yeah, that's not my job. We've got a new guy, Ben Sulayem. He's coming in. He can deal with this. No, John Todd, you were the man in charge of the FIA at the time of that corruption. But that's all part of the gaslighting, isn't it? That's all part of confusing the situation. Oh yeah, it's not my fault, it's the new guy's fault. Oh, but the new guy, yeah, it wasn't his fault because he wasn't in the role when it happened. But the old guy, well, he's no longer there. So who do we pin this on? Yeah, it's not the new guy's fault, is it?
To Silverstone, where we've got a man running down the circuit. This happened a few minutes ago, just as we went to the break. He's broken out onto the track and he's running down the Hangar Straight. The cars are exiting Beckett's there at about 165 miles an hour, and that is an act of utter lunacy. How did he get out there? That's the first question. He very nearly got collected by David Coulthard, who was looking at making a move on Olivier Panis, and you can see the marshals getting him off the track. We've had a safety car situation and all of the front runners have made a pit stop as a result of it. There you see the chaos in the pits, everybody having to react because the pit stops themselves were scheduled pit stops, were only 5 or 6 laps away. So it's turned the Grand Prix on its head, and at the moment Cristiano De Matta is shown as being the race leader.
And I tell you, that'll have serious implications for the British Grand Prix, that a man can get on the racetrack and be running down the middle of the Hangar Straight, for goodness sake, with the whole pack coming towards him. Of course, we've no idea what he was protesting about, what he's trying to achieve. Very nearly killing himself, and any driver that hit him would be in serious danger.
Because that did happen. Somebody ran onto track, I think it was in the 70s, I can find it on the internet, and the Formula 1 car hit him, and it killed the guy that ran onto track, and it killed the driver of that car. That's what can happen.
Danger of his life too, and thank goodness we got away with that one in terms of personal injury, but that is the last thing this event needed.
Absolutely the last thing we needed. Well, we've got to regroup from this though. We have got still a motor race here, 60 laps at Silverstone. This is lap 14. The safety car is still out on track. Let me just tell you then the order of the cars behind the safety car from the restart, and they've all made one pit stop. What we don't know, obviously because it was so chaotic down there, is how long each of these cars refuel for, and therefore what their relative strategies are. It's impossible, I'm afraid, for us to know that. But what I can tell you is that Cristiano De Matta is your race leader. First time he's been at the lead of a Grand Prix. Olivier Panis.
So what we've seen a few minutes ago, we saw that guy had been restrained, and they were trying to remove him from the circuit and over the barriers. What's happening in the meantime? Oh, well, all of these cars, which had all been spread out, they're all bunching up, aren't they? And that safety car has to stay on track until they are all bunched up, so that all of the previously built up advantages are nullified. Because that's what happened in a safety car situation. We've known this for years. 2021, Abu Dhabi. Oh, we've forgotten the purpose of the safety car. How long will they wait? And will they let the lapped cars through? I don't think it's mandatory, but that's normally on a wet day in Belgium. And oh, I don't think it's mandatory in the regulation, says Martin. Oh, what are we gonna see? Oh, all lies. Media lies. Media hype, conditioning the viewer to believe that it was possible to see what they then presented you with, conditioning you to believe that that fix was even possible. It's a fraud. It's a fraud. We've been watching this sport for years. We know what to expect when we see a safety car. We know what it causes. We know that it causes the field to bunch. If there are lapped cars in situ, they've now lost a lap on the car that they were previously chasing, because the car that was just in front of the leader, he's now disappeared off around the track and has joined the end of the safety car snake. Oh, we want to get the lapped cars out of the way so they don't interfere. Nothing to do with that. It's all about restoring sporting fairness to the entire field. You're being lied to. There's not a single media outlet that's telling you the truth, but you have got your desires. You've got what you want to happen, and enough of you have fallen for that bullshit. And too many of you are just too fucking thick to realise you've been lied to.
His Toyota teammate is going to be second off the restart. David Coulthard, who had his neck support come off the track and made an early pit stop under the first of the two safety cars here this afternoon. He's up to third now. Jarno Trulli, the big loser, obviously, he was the race leader. He's down to fourth. And from there, we've got Raikkonen behind him as he was before, Ralf Schumacher behind him as he was before in sixth place, Furman up to seventh because he made the early stop. Barrichello's lost out a little bit. He's down in eighth place. Webber is still ninth. Where is Michael Schumacher? Answer, 15th place. He's really going to have his work cut out today to score some points.
As luck would have it, those that pitted early on, Coulthard had to pit because...
So we got a shot there. Pretty much every single car was in view. They're all bunched up now, aren't they? They're all one behind the other in this bunched up safety car snake. But the safety car's still on the track. We saw a minute before, probably longer, the guy was already off the track. Why did the safety car not come in? Why did it not come in?
His headrest flew out on the exit of Copse. It's played into their hands. I don't know if I saw the protester wearing a skirt or a kilt, and he would never realise it, but it's played beautifully into the hands of Scott David Coulthard, who's had, presumably they must have refueled him when they put his headrest back in. He was in the pits plenty of time, and now he should be nicely fueled up. The Toyota's also pitted, and it's played for them tremendously, because I think they were a bit short fueled too. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap, and all the computer power that lot have got, it does not allow for a man on the racetrack.
No, we...
Oh, is that because the regulations would state that once you've deployed the safety car, then it remains on track until the leader is behind it and all the other cars are punched up behind the leader? I wonder.
Did not need this at Silverstone here today. Having said that, we have got a very extraordinary situation here, the restart, and we've got a very, very topsy-turvy grid at the restart. And, well, everyone just regrouping now, gathering themselves up, and then we're going to get going, racing again here on lap 15 of the British Grand Prix.
Looking back then from your race leader, Cristiano Domata, and behind him is his teammate, Olivier Panis. David Coulthard just behind them. Jarno Trulli looking all right, James.
Yeah.
He was the race leader. He's now fueled up, got a quick car underneath him. Jarno Trulli looking very handy this afternoon.
I tell you what, if you were running the Toyota race strategy now and you found yourself gifted with a 1-2 on lap 15 of 60, there's a group.
Let's see who that was.
This afternoon.
I tell you what, if you were running the Toyota race strategy now and you found yourself gifted with a 1-2 on lap...
Who's that there? Tell us, who's that?
15 of 60. There's a good brain, Pat Simmons there of the Renault team.
There's a good brain, Pat Simmons. That guy knows how to cheat, doesn't he? That guy, he's got the brain that can go, oh, what does a safety car cause? Oh, how can we use a safety car situation to advantage ourselves and fix the outcome of a race? There's a good brain for you.
Team, he knows his way around. He used to engineer Michael Schumacher. He's used to thinking these things through, but
yeah, he's used to thinking these things through. And we got Flavio Briatore pictured on the yacht there with Christian Horner and the rest of the cronies from F1. Greg Mathey from Liberty Media. Oh, they've got the brain to think these things through. They know how to fix an outcome. They know how to work this through.
Toyota must feel now there's a great chance of scoring some big points here today. So in only their second season in Formula One, they find themselves on a 1-2.
Oh, we've got all the cars in view. Now we can resume racing, because that's what you have to do.
Situation, and they will not want to lose face here and end up with an ignominious result for such a promising position at this stage of the race.
So snaking around now. They've obviously all been told the safety car will come in.
See, back in 2003, right? See the kids in the comment section. See, we've been watching this for years. I know this is new for you, and I know that you've got small attention spans. So if it's longer than a 15-second TikTok, you've already switched off. You know, it's boring for you, isn't it? It's boring. And that's why we've had to get Martin Brundle now to keep hyping it up for you. Otherwise, you're just not going to be interested in Formula One, which is why during these safety car periods where we know that, you know, it just goes, it's a bit dry. You know, the cars are just lapping, they're just all bunched up and they're going relatively slow and they're not racing. But we accept that as being part of what it is. That's how you deal with a safety incident. But what they've had to do to keep the kids excited, they've got to get Brundle to say, oh, what's going to happen now? And how long will they wait? And what are we going to see? And you kids, you're all going, oh, what are we seeing now? And how long will we wait? And oh... Because, you know, you believe that shit. You believe that shit. But those of us that have been watching it, we just know that it's bullshit. We know that it's just media hype. Because we've seen it too many times to know what the reality is, and when Brundle's just giving you the bullshit. But you'll go, oh, but I would rather believe Martin Brundle than you, because he's the expert. Right. But Martin's being paid by the show to hype you up. Martin's being paid by the show to arouse you. And it's working.
At this lap, the safety car's lights have gone out. To Mata, who is well used to this as the American kart champion, this kind of scenario, he must feel absolutely at home now, leading, ready for a restart after the yellows.
Well, he said he'd be wild today, didn't he? But he didn't think we were going to see a man on the track, though. He just thought we were going to see lots of overtaking. The safety car comes in then for the second time in the British Grand Prix, and Cristiano Di Matta in the Toyota leads us.
So this is when the Silverstone circuit was a slightly different layout. The start-finish straight was down that straight where it leads into Copse Corner. Let's have a look what might happen at Copse Corner, you know, where Christian Horner will tell you, everybody knows that you don't stick a wheel down the inside at Copse. Everybody knows that, don't they, Christian? All these young strap-on fanboys, you know, that have been watching Formula One for 3 years, they all know that you don't stick a wheel down the inside at Copse.
It's off again, we're green flag racing. Yeah, we're green flag racing here at Silverstone.
Oh, what was that? Was that Kimi sticking a wheel down the inside? Let's have a look.
And this is second, and look, already they're making moves to pass. Look at that, Raikkonen, fabulous move on Trulli. What an opportunity.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that, Kimi. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to stick a wheel up the inside at Copse. Everybody knows that, Kimi. Max suffered a 51G accident because of that. Oh, is that because Max was a dick? Yeah, that'd be why.
Opportunistic move that was.
Yes, Raikkonen catching Trulli absolutely asleep, as will Ralf Schumacher any time now if he doesn't get on with it. And that's put us at Toyota 1-2, McLaren 3-4, and crucial there then, a crucial pass for Kimi Raikkonen.
And watch out for Michael Schumacher at the top of your screens there. He's got Ralph Furman. He's got to...
It's not Michael Schumacher, that was Rubens Barrichello. Right, let's have a look at something else. So, because of it being so long ago, trying to get the correct documents off the internet is not the most straightforward of things. The one that I found, the FIA statutes, I found this one dating back to 2010. Now, it does seem that these were adopted in 2001, and over time there's been slight amendments. So it does say that they were the Ordinary General Assembly of the 26th of October 2007. So they'd have been going into the 2008 season. And it's likely they would have been the same things carried all the way through with just slight amendments as they go. So I'll go through them at some point. But if anybody can find the FIA statutes dating from either the end of 2007 or at some point prior to the when the Crashgate Singapore race took place in 2008, forward me a link to that. I'd appreciate it. This is the FIA International Sporting Code, and this is published at the end of December 2007. So that is for the 2008 season. And I've also found the 2008 Formula One sporting regulations. And so we'll go through all three of them at some point, and we'll see if those statutes and regulations say that you should void the race. Heads up, they don't. But you never know. You never know. Maybe Massa's team of lawyers, these corrupt fuckers here, yeah, maybe they'll be able to somehow find a loophole in there to try and create the argument that they'll get paid for making that argument, to try and pretend that Massa's got a case. As long as you pay a lawyer money, they'll argue for you. That's supposedly law. Law, this concept of being, quite simply, there to determine the difference between right and wrong in any given situation. You've got lawyers that will construct a corrupt argument to try to win if it gets them money. That's rather a flawed system, isn't it? There's nobody with any integrity in that. If all that they're doing is they don't really care the difference between right and wrong, all they care about is how much money they can extract from the situation. That's the integrity of these individuals. So not a statute of limitations for when you can bring these claims? Oh, I think there is. Is this just a media facade? Is this just something to divert your attention with? To try and divert your attention from what was truly corrupt, the Abu Dhabi 2021. But again, these people, they're being paid money. They don't care. They care about money. They don't care about what's right or what's wrong. They'll make an argument for you if you will pay them. So they're claiming a substantial amount of money for Felipe Massa. And at some point, we'll also go through the other media sources. Planet F1 explained. Why is Felipe Massa legally challenging Lewis Hamilton's 2008 World Cup title? So you've got all these media outlets. Felipe Massa starts legal action over 2008 F1 title loss. Okay, and you've got Sky Sports. Felipe Massa lawyers seek compensation from Formula One bosses and FIA for lost 2008 title. So these big media outlets, they're willing to report this, yet who's telling you the truth? Who's telling you the actual facts of the situation? Because it's not the media, is it? We'll go through them articles, we'll tell you exactly what they tell you, and we'll expose what the reality of the situation is. The purpose of this channel is to start waking people up. Now, sadly, it won't happen because this information cannot be condensed down into little 15-second TikToks, 15-second Instagram little videos. Then the strap-on fanboy, the brainless little prick, they've moved on already. Okay? That's the world that they want to create. If they create a world full of brain-dead pricks, they'll get away with anything. They'll get away with anything because nobody's going to hold them to account for it. And they'll make huge amounts of money corruptly, enabling them to live the life of billionaires. And they'll convince you of any shit that they want to convince you of. And they'll use their media to convince you of any shit they want to convince you of. Because this is all bullshit. And the media won't expose the truth. Who's controlling the media? Oh, wow, they're making money out of it. They're being paid to run a certain story in a certain way. And then when you click on it, they're getting the advertising revenue from you clicking on it. And if you like it, wow, because it fulfills your desires, everyone's a winner, aren't they? Where's the truth? Where's the truth? Who's benefiting? Who's been taken for a ride? Well, it's every single one of us. But there's quite a number of you that is quite happy to fight for them because you think you're getting what you want. You think they're giving you what you want. They're using you, but you can't see that. Anyway, that'll do for this one. See you next time.